Turning to local news that's happening right now, about 1,400 volunteers are conducting the annual point-in-time count of people experiencing homelessness.
CBS 8's Regina Irizza live in Hillcrest now with a closer look, and they have been busy since early this morning.
It's been a busy morning. Good morning, Eric and Netta. We've been actually here in Hillcrest just for the past couple of hours following Councilmember Stephen Whitburn and his team. And we actually have the council member here. He's got an update on just some of the people that you've encountered this morning. Really hard to hear some of the stories. Talk to me about the woman that you just talked to a few minutes ago.
I just spoke to a woman named Sparkle about a block away from here. She was sort of wandering around. We approached her. Turns out that she is homeless. She's been living outdoors for the past few days. She says she doesn't get along with people in the shelters, and so she's living outdoors. She then proceeded to introduce me to her husband, but there was nobody else there. It was just her, and so she was imagining that. I'm not quite sure, but obviously there's some more profound issues involved in her situation, and those are the people that we need to help. I mean, we need to be able to find a way to help to get her into a safer and healthier place. There are fewer people out here this year than we've seen in the past. That's good, but obviously some of the people have some pretty profound issues.
Right. I mean, still talking to several people living on the streets, and you offered them resources, gave them information on some of the resources that the city is offering. What was sort of the reaction to that? Were they kind of for it, or were they willing to go to some of the resources that you guys offer?
There's some real interest. There were a couple of people who weren't interested in help, and they're the challenging ones. There were a couple of people who said that they would go into a shelter if there were a shelter bed available. Our shelters are at capacity right now, so we need to add shelter beds so some of these folks who want a shelter bed can get into a safer and healthier place. But where we're seeing the most interest is in the safe sleeping sites. People who are already outdoors, in many cases want to stay outdoors, but they are willing to get off the sidewalks and go into a safe camping site where they have a tent, they've got a little bit of privacy, they've got security, they've got bathrooms, showers, laundry, meals, connections to services. The safe sleeping sites are really popular, and that seems to be a really good way to get people off the streets. We've had more than 1,000 people go through the safe sleeping sites since we opened them a year and a half ago.
Now, Councilman, I mean, just seeing, that this is your district, right? This is an area that you walk through many times, especially other San Diegans, and seeing the people that you've encountered, right? I mean, can we turn over here? There's actually one person, sleeping there on the street. This is just a troubling image to see, and unfortunately, we see it in San Diego. So what more does the city need to do, just seeing some of the numbers of the people that you've talked to?
Well, I think we all need to recognize what a severe toll this takes. It's a humanitarian crisis for the people who are on the streets. It's a real impact to everybody else as well, our neighborhoods, our businesses. There is nothing good that comes from people living outdoors and on the street. So we need to absolutely make it a priority to ensure that we have the shelter beds available. It is not okay that somebody tells me that they want to come off the streets and go into a shelter bed, and I have to tell them that we don't have a shelter bed available for them and they have to stay on the street. That is not okay. We need to fix that. We need to add shelter beds. We need to, of course, add housing. And by adding shelter and adding housing, that's how we get people off the streets and into a better place. We're moving in the right direction. We're seeing fewer people out here. We've seen a big drop in homelessness downtown, but we've got more work to do.
All right, there you go. You heard it from Councilmember Whitburn. Still a lot more work to do, but that's why they have this annual point-in-time count. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. We're going to continue to be out here in Hillcrest, learning more about really some of the people who are still here living on the streets and why it's important to be doing this. For now, I'm going to send it back to you.